I rise today in opposition of Robert Cramer. I do so for the following reasons. First of all, I had a chance to review some of the materials that Robert listed in his work experience related to AGC. It's true that the state regent institutions are going to make significant investment in infrastructure in the state of Iowa, but as I understand it, Mr. Cramer's background is that of a bridge engineer. Now, I don't know whether any of you have been up to the University of Iowa and had a chance to see flood recovery. We're not going to build many bridges over at the University of Iowa. But if we were, I'd hire Mr. Cramer to build those bridges because I think he's a fine bridge builder. I want to share with you what was released in August of 2010 when Mr. Cramer was president of the AGC. He said that he had the opportunity to travel to Washington to work on the world's problems. I told Obama, cut all entitlements, cut the bureaucracy in half, and move the Muslim mosque to an island 10 miles away from 9/11 sites so we can build a bridge to it. I also asked him why we can't eliminate the Federal Highway Division and let us keep all the gas tax money here that we receive and send to Washington. And then I had a chance to review some of the gifts and grants that have been received by the regents. University of Iowa received $252 million in entitlements and grants and gifts from the United States government. The Iowa State University received $171 million in grants and gifts and contracts from the federal government. And the University of Northern Iowa received $15 million. So I'm asking myself, what kind of spokesperson is this? And I have to tell you, I think one of the roles of the Board of Regents is to promote Iowa and to promote education in the state of Iowa and to promote bringing home those federal dollars in our research-based institutions. I think we have a gentleman here that doesn't seem to like government and doesn't see his role as a regent as bringing in federal dollars to our research institutions. That ought to be enough. But then I go on and I read about his work on the Johnston School Board. And I see the books that he wanted to ban while a member of the Johnston School Board. And frankly, I see a need for us to have a Board of Regents that are committed to academic freedom and committed to promoting education and having a vision for education. And not during our entire meeting, when we visited with him, did he explain or articulate what his vision for higher education was. I waited for it. I hoped for it. I did not hear it. And many of you know that his views related to what he calls the homosexual lifestyle are different than my views. But that is not the reason why I cast my vote today. I cast my vote today as a no because I do not believe that he brings in a vision for the future of education, higher education in the state of Iowa. And I do not believe that he promotes an agenda that will allow for academic freedom. And for those reasons alone, I cast my vote. In addition, I have deep concerns about what kind of role he will play in helping Iowa compete for those federal dollars that are so important to research-based institutions. So I ask that my colleagues tone their rhetoric. I was around when I watched Jonathan Wilson, one of the most qualified candidates for the state school board, be voted down because of intolerance. I was here, and not a single, by the way, not a single Republican stood up to defend their vote. You can't say that about the Democrats. We're actually standing up and defending our votes today because we have reasons for the votes we take when we vote no. And so I was around when I watched Rich Eichner voted down the Civil Rights Commission. And so talking about tolerance is an important subject. It's a word that Mr. Cramer used quite frequently during his visit with us in the back. He said we have to all tolerate each other. But we have choices. This confirmation process is about choices. It's about debate. It's about having a civilized debate about choices and vision. 99.2% of the governor's appointees were approved without any turmoil. But when people are appointed to these positions, we have a responsibility to address their qualifications. And in my view, Mr. Cramer's qualifications are not worthy of a Board of Regent.